Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and very excitingly, we're going to be talking about D&D. We're going to be talking about D&D Direct, and we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons dominating their communications. All right. So this D&D Direct event started up, and oh my gosh, there's so many things I want to talk to you about. I'm like every other commenter. I want to just like a D&D commentator. I just want to talk about everything in that thing, but we got to talk about the thing before we can talk about a single item within the thing. Right? So we just got to talk about this D&D Direct, right? So what is this thing? So first of all, it was a first, and it was Dungeons and Dragons. I think Disney did this with like D21. Right? And they're like, hey, you know what? We don't need comic. What was that comics? There was a big comic convention, and it was super important for like, it's out on the West Coast. And it was like Comics Fest or Comic-Con. For like 5 years, Comic-Con was the main Jimmy Jam. It was like, hey, if you want to say something to the world, say it here, and it will get heard, right? And they were bringing in megastars and Hall H, and like it was literally famous, right? And then everybody's like, why are we giving this, little convention our main news? We should, Disney was like, we ain't sending our stars to Comic-Con. We'll just have our own convention, and we'll have our own event, and we'll say what we want to say directly to the people, right? Like, I hate to say this, but Donald Trump, like, he cracked the world in half with Twitter, man. He's like, he was like, hey, I don't give a rat's about the media. They done, right? Like, I'm going straight to the people. And that's what Dungeons and Dragons did with D&D Direct. They Trump tweeted. Like, it was just like, skip the noise, rather than Twitter telling you 3 days before we tell you, and then we come and tell you 3 days later, and there's one piece of news, and it's poorly delivered by Ray Winninger, right? Like, they were like, we're going to have engaging people saying huge things, massively important things about our brand, and it's going to be bang, bang, bing, bong, bing, bang, 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 right? Like Dragonlance, Spelljammer, miniatures, video games, movie, like awesome. Like just one after another, like, campaign cases, terrain, campaign cases, creatures. Like, it was just like, it was like bang, 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 bang. It was like huge. Like, I could not believe what I was watching. It was like Dungeons and Dragons inverted their communication. Because when I basically, okay, so what happens, right? I get it. I get YouTube Live. I'm terrible at YouTube Live. It's a time thing. I do not have more time to do YouTube than I'm giving it right now. I can promise you that, right? I would love to do more live stuff. But YouTube really rewards live content, right? And I'm totally okay with that. Just because I don't have time for it doesn't mean they shouldn't, right? So they're doing a tremendous job. So they kicked this thing out live, and I had planned to not even watch this thing. I was like, Nerd Immersion's going to do a great job reporting everything they said anyway, so I'm just going to skip this noise because they suck. Like Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast absolutely is catastrophically suck at reporting their own news, right? So the thing comes up live on my phone, and it says, hey, D&D is going live in a minute. You want to watch it? And I'm like, I don't really want to watch this, but I click the button, right? And I just start listening to it, right? And I listen to YouTube all the time. I don't watch it. I just listen to it, right? And I was like, what the heck? Holy cows. These are actually important. Like, the people who are talking to me, I actually want to hear them talk, right? B. Dave Walters and Anna Prosser, right? Both fantastic communicators with a lot of pep in their voice and, like, experience in communicating, not like this, like Ray. I really dislike Ray Winninger. I really feel like 55 people on this planet would be doing his job better. He doesn't communicate well. Like, I just do not like him, right? I don't like that he took over for Mike Merles, right? But like, and so I don't want to hear him again. I do not want to hear him open his maw again. I'm like kind of done with him, right? He is not a good communicator. Now, frankly, you don't have to be a good communicator as the RPG design, as the D&D design lead, if you got a good team and you can do your thing, right? But like, he is not the person to be delivering news, right? So B. Dave Walters and Anna Prosser did an amazing job delivering news. They were like very winsome, easy to listen to. They got to their freaking point quick. Like, here's stunning news told to you quickly, right? No nonsense. Let's get to it, right? We got important, real things to tell you about the brand. These things actually matter. It's not us coyly going, oh, we have these exciting settings that we'll tell you about 6 to 12 to 18 months later. Like, like just skipping the noise and getting it done, right? The communication was absolutely fantastic. The vast majority of the content actually mattered, right? It was like the vast majority of what they were saying was actually important stuff that needed to be said and that people would care about when it was said, right? It was really, really stunning. Like, I was just absolutely amazed at what I was seeing, right? And it really was every communication prior to this D&D Direct was like, hey, let's put this one thing in middle of, this one important thing in the middle of 8 things that don't matter. And let's waste your time and have people who have no business on camera talking to you, right? And this was the exact opposite. It was like, what if we actually have people who should be on camera say really important things really quickly? And that's how you communicate today. That's how you get it done. And boy, this D&D Direct gave me, I was so excited about every single thing they were talking about except the video games. But even there, I know what value they have and what they actually accomplish. And I was just wonderfully, wonderfully thrilled to see everything that was happening. This is how communication be done. D&D Direct was a 100% crazy success. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.